Seth Binzer. You'll know him later as who he has done, what he has done. Unfortunately, he has passed away at the age of 49. We'll touch on him and more. You're watching BS3 Presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Let's do this. Well, good morning, Shifter. It is Wednesday. That's right, Wednesday, June 26th, 2024, and welcome to BS Represents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. And just sit back and relax as we will get and keep you informed, enlightened, educated, also entertained a little bit, and spiritually fed. Along with Seth Binzer, we will touch on gender neutral names. Now, why is that now on such an uptick? And also enlightened away, being transformed by the renewal of your mind. I know you've heard it before. Well, it's always good to hear good things again. That is all for later. For now, though, let's start you up, shall we? And here's what's taking place in the world today. Former Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton wrote an op-ed piece that it is, quote, a waste of time, close quote, to try to counter Donald Trump in a TV forum as well, as it were a normal debate. The former Secretary of State, who debated Donald Trump 3 times during the 2016 election, had some advice for President Joe Biden as he prepares to take the stage with the presumptive GOP nominee. She says, quote, it's nearly impossible to identify what his arguments even are. He starts with nonsense and then digresses into blather. This has gotten only worse in the years since we've debated, close quote. She also added that Trump, he also might rant and rave at times, in part because he wants to avoid getting into straight answers about unpopular opinions he may hold. I hate to say this to Hillary, but this will be the fourth time that Biden has debated with Trump, but I digress. Monica Lewinsky says that she hopes U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon, who was overseeing former President Donald Trump's classified documents case, is impeached. Lewinsky's remarks have come after a New York Times report last week saying that Cannon rejected suggestions from 2, quote, more experienced colleagues, close quote, to pass off classified documents case to another jurist. She wrote on the platform X, quote, I awakened angry about the documents case in Florida. It is insane that it hasn't moved forward to trial, and I hope Judge Cannon is impeached, close quote. The U.S. Surgeon General has declared gun violence in America a public health crisis Tuesday and called for a series of initiatives similar to that used against smoking and motor vehicle crashes to stop it. An estimated 50,000 people are killed every year in gun violence, Surgeon General Vivek Murthy has said, and the impact spreads beyond those deaths. He wrote and issued a 39-page advisory, the first of its kind, related to firearm deaths. It focuses on the rise of gun violence across the country over the past 10 years and suggested several responses, including warning labels on weapons. Warning, this apparatus may cause harm to others. Come on, sorry. A 14-year-old boy from West Virginia was bitten by a shark as he was swimming near a beach in North Carolina. Authorities say on Tuesday the boy was in the water around 12:30 p.m. on Sunday when a shark attacked him and bit him. North Topsail Beach Police Chief William K. Younginger told USA Today the bystander sprang into action as the incident unfolded. getting the young boy out of the water and administering first aid to him by using towels and applying pressure to stop the bleeding. Younginger also said that fortunately for the victim, officers and EMTs were already at the scene on another call and were able to quickly reach him. He went on to say, quote, police officers applied a tourniquet and EMS stabilized the patient, close quote. Thank the Lord that they had EMS, I should say, officials and police officers able to tend to him right away. A death row inmate set for execution in Texas this week says he is not the same man he was when he raped and killed an 18-year-old woman 23 years ago. The 41-year-old man is set to be executed later on today for the death of an 18-year-old young woman who was kidnapped, raped, and fatally shot on January 14, 2001 at a ranch in Bandera. It's a small town in between San Antonio and Austin, in Hill Country, as they would call it. If the execution goes forward, the 41-year-old man will be the second inmate put to death in Texas this year and the 8th in the United States. Chrisley Knows Best star Julie Chrisley, nearly 6 years. Prison sentence has been actually thrown out after federal judges have ruled that her case has insufficient evidence. On Friday, judges from the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, they found the judge in Chrisley's 2022 trial miscalculated her sentence and did not find evidence proving her full involvement in the bank fraud scheme for which she was sentenced, according to documents obtained by USA Today. Now, the Court of Appeals upheld Chrisley, her husband Todd Chrisley, and their accountant Peter Tarantino's convictions, but found the original trial judge miscalculated Julie Chrisley's sentence. She was held responsible for the entire fraud scheme dating back to 2006. Summer vacations are in full swing, and for scores of people across the Northern Hemisphere, that means trips to beaches, to pools, to water parks, and other places that the sun can visit the skin. Now, while achieving a sun-kissed tan is on many a summer bucket list for many Americans, health experts are warning not to ditch the sunscreen in an attempt to get your desired results more quickly. Now, the sunscreen block, or I should say inhibit the tendency to actually have your skin tanned? The short answer is yes, when that sunscreen is used correctly. But the longer answer, it actually is a good thing. Dermatologist Lindsay Subritsky, she told USA Today, saying, quote, sunscreen works to reduce the amount of UV exposure to your skin. Tan skin is not a sign of healthy skin. Actually, tanning, I should say, is your body's attempt to produce more melanin to protect your skin from further DNA damage. Close quote. Thank you, Lord, for giving me a whole ton of melanin. I love you for that, Lord. Oh, I'm sorry. Excessive UV exposure is responsible for more than 90% of skin cancers, according to Johns Hopkins University's Bloomberg School of Public Health. Bluebell is making many customers' dreams come true after it announced that it will be returning one of its discontinued flavors. Starting yesterday, Bluebell ice cream lovers can submit their choices for the Great Scoop Revival Flavor Tournament, bringing the March Madness style brackets out of retirement until the next NCAA season. The ice cream company is having its customers choose which flavors they prefer in head-to-head matchups. The brackets will be updated every day, and voting will end on Friday. The winning flavor will be chosen Monday, just in time for the Independence Day holiday. Interested customers can check out Bluebell's website, Instagram, Facebook stories, and X accounts for updates. In sports, Magic Johnson on X says that Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the that rivalry reminds himself of one that I think he knows very well. Yes, the one that he had on court with Larry Bird. He sees parallels to each situation. After saying in the past that he would never sign with the Yankees, in his words, quote, even not dead, not even dead, close quote. Toronto Blue Jays first baseman Vladimir Guerrero is softening his stance, so he must have been reincarnated. Congratulations to Mikal Bridges, who now is a Knick after a trade with the Nets. And sad to report, Sika Anoa'i, WWE Hall of Famer and father of the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, he unfortunately passed away on Tuesday. A wrestling legend in his own right, he was 79 years of age. Many prayers to the Anoa'i family. Turning our attention to weather across the U.S., courtesy of the Weather Channel. In the Pacific Northwest, we are dealing with rainy skies and 69 degrees in Seattle. In the Midwest, we are mostly sunny and will be 77 in Minneapolis. It will be partly cloudy and 82 in Chicago. It will be thunderstorms and 84 in St. Louis. Far cry from the 102 that he had the day before. It'll be rainy and 82 in Detroit. Over on the East Coast, it will be partly cloudy and 90 in Boston, partly cloudy and 94 in New York, rainy and 99 in Washington. Rain and almost 100. How is that possible? Oh, sorry. Down in the South, it'll be with a sun and thunderstorm mix with a high of 87 in Miami. It will be mostly sunny and 99 in Atlanta. It'll be thunderstorms and 85 in Memphis, rainy and 91 in New Orleans. Over in the Southwest, it will be partly cloudy and 97 in San Antonio. It will be sunny, mostly sunny, and 100 in Dallas. It will be mostly sunny with a little bit of thunderstorm activity and high of 94 in Houston. Over in the desert, there's a tie for the highest temperatures. It will be partly cloudy and 110 in Phoenix. It'll be mostly sunny and 110 in Las Vegas. Out in the Rockies, it will be a sun and thunderstorm mix with a high of 92 in Denver. And out on the West Coast, it will be partly cloudy skies and high of 65 in the Bay Area. It will be partly cloudy skies and a high of 83 in the City of Angels. That is your look on weather for today. And now you have been properly started up. Coming up later, the death of a superstar. It is hard to fathom, and not even 50 years of age. We'll touch on Seth Binzer. You know him in another way, and it'll definitely trigger you when I mention his name and mention what he's famous for. And being transformed by the renewal of your mind. How beautiful of a process is it, and how necessary is it for all of us to undergo? That's all for later. But for next, it's a boy, it's a girl, but you can't tell by the name. That's becoming more in vogue by the day. We'll touch on why that is the case. You are watching BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson on the BS3 Network. You're listening to it live on Real Wise Radio. And we'll be right back right after this.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson. Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald. With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete, 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 delete.
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. The moderator.
As woman, you can't be too friendly because the minute you're friendly, then they think you're flirting.
The level head.
So that thing is over. So I'm not looking at men like that anymore.
The truth slayer.
Okay, what in the HPV yeast infection is going on over here?
The X Factor.
So I'd rather you tell me everything up front and let's start fresh.
The intersection of life and spirituality never sounded this good. BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens. Live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. If you're looking for sports news in a way that's given to you from the city and the country, I got a show just for you. Joe, my man Terry Brown, and my man Vinny Hardy, as they, in a riveting fashion and in a down-home way, break down sports news the way I think everybody can appreciate. Cats Talk Wednesday. It is more than just University of Kentucky, whatever. It is all sports as well. You can catch them live today and every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on the Roku TV via BS3, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, and the Cats Talk Wednesday Facebook page. It is Cats Talk Wednesday. You can catch them live today and every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on Roku TV. Just hit the BS3 logo on the Roku TV app, BS3TVLive.com, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, and the Cats Talk Wednesday Facebook page. Well, welcome back to the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. It is good to see you, Shifter. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm blessed that you're here with me. And to the Shift Nation we go. And before I do go to Shift Nation, if you want to be a part of Shift Nation, all you have to do is join this program live every weekday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central on the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel, and you will be amongst Shift Nation. That is live right now and every weekday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central on the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel. Now to Shift Nation we go, and to one of my most loyal shifters, and I appreciate and love him, Ryan McCarthy. Wonderful show last night, I may add, with no credentials required. Good morning, fellow shifters, he says, and a good morning to you, fellow shifter. And speaking from one devoted shifter to another, a brother to another, from one brother to another brother, Cool McCain. Oh my, the list is endless. Monarchs of Wrestling, Elite, the Eagles Elite Podcast, Play Caller Sports Talk. And there's going to be more that's going to be added to the hardest content creator that I know's plate, Shift Nation. Happy midweek, and happy midweek to you, my brother and fellow shifter. And to the debate that's going to be taking place tomorrow, and we'll probably break down stuff that happened on Friday's episode. He says this debate will be awful, to channel the Mrs. Awesome. Two derelict old fogies yelling and dumping on each other. Well, you must have been talking to Wise, because that is something that I can picture him saying almost verbatim. But I can't dispute or refute any of that at all. Oh my! But yes, part of me is looking forward to doing that on Friday, and the other part of me is like saying, "Oh, great! I'm gonna have to probably find something to talk about with them." But I digress. From one septuagenarian, one octogenarian, to parents expecting newborns. The trend now is, and you've heard it, Angel, Dylan, Logan. All these names have one thing in common. You can hear them mentioning it for a woman or a man or a boy or a girl. Why is it now in vogue? Well, in today's program Spotlight, we'll touch on the rise of gender neutral names and why it seems to be all the rage. Well, it's a boy, it's a girl. I mean, you just don't know what to say at times because you don't know where the parents are leaning. However, names have to be given. As I said, you could probably expect more babies named Dylan, more babies named Avery, more babies named Logan. And you could probably hear them in the upcoming months and probably even the upcoming years. Those three names topped the names.org list of gender neutral names last year, and the site expects them to grace thousands more in birth announcements come this year. Americans are picking gender neutral names for their babies more often than ever before. Just under 17% of last year's babies' names was unisex, and that's based on names.org's criteria. Matthew Cobb, the chief technical officer of the company, says, quote, "I think it's part of a broader trend of Americans looking for more unique names," close quote. Now, based on data from the Social Security Administration and visitors to its website, names.org predicts that the 10 most popular unisex names 2004 will be Dylan, Avery, Logan, Carter, Riley, Parker, Rowan, Cameron, Angel, and Kai. Stop me if you have not heard any of those names mentioned with somebody over the last 5 years. Names.org claims to have a 95% accuracy rate in predicting a year's naming trends. Now, the most common unisex name that will be attached to boys is a tie between Dylan and Kai. And the name that is unisex that is tied to girls most often is Avery, with Riley coming in a close second. Cobb went on to say the following too, quote, "Especially during the 90s, we saw a gender-neutral names rise in popularity, with a more dramatic rise in the popularity of less common names," close quote. Now, what does it take for a name to be considered gender neutral, you may ask? Well, names.org's list of gender neutral names include those given to both genders at least 5% of the time. Now, that might sound like a low bar, but according to names.org, 91% of names are either 99% male or 99% female. Now, they estimate 60% of the gender neutral names are given to girls. Yeah. Now, the trend has been since 1960, you had 6.2% of babies having unisex names, but the jump came starting in the 1990s, and it went from 6.2 in 1960 to now almost 17% coming into this year. Gender neutral names were more common in the South decades ago, but within the past decade, more than 10% of children born in every state have a unisex name. Well, that's except for those of you in New Mexico and in Rhode Island. Now, Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, they have been among the states with the most gender neutral names for years. Now, Cobb points out that during the past decade, the percentages of unisex names in Midwestern states have closed the gap with the South as well. That's interesting. Now, because name.org relies on Social Security Administration's data to collect names, they probably are undercounting the percentages of children who actually answer to gender neutral names. Cobb said, quote, "I don't have data on nicknames," close quote, which he knows from his own friends leading to undercounting. Now, he says he's close friends with one family member whose daughter is named Alexandria, but she goes by Alex. Another has a daughter named Charlotte, but they call her Charlie. Cobb went on to say, quote, just in my close friend group, those who would not meet the definition of gender neutral names. However, what they go by on a day-to-day basis would be gender neutral. Close quote. Now, I think this trend is probably going to continue even further, considering that we now have the debate on, well, people don't know genders all of a sudden. But I really do feel and believe that trends normally rise and they normally fall when you have, I guess you could say, pushback. And I could see some pushback coming very soon with this. So I think, yeah, we might see gender neutral names more on the rise, but I think you might see gender centric names coming back into the fold probably very soon. And who knows? Maybe we might enjoy that trend. And that is today's program spotlight. Now, if you want to have a program that might touch on something like this, but probably even more on a spiritual end, because they do have a show where life and spirituality intersect, join my girls, Grace, Felicia, Kim, and Tanya as they touch on all relationship topics with a spiritual bent and a life perspective. Because life happens. You can catch them live tonight and every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Roku TV via BS3, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, and the BS3 Network Facebook page. That is Life Happens. You can catch them live tonight and every Wednesday night or evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Roku TV. Just hit that BS3 logo on the Roku TV app, BS3TVLive.com, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, and the BS3 Network Facebook page. That is Life Happens. You can catch them live 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central tonight. Coming up next, a man that shouldn't be talked about the way we are going to talk about now, unfortunately, has met his end sooner than it should have been. We'll touch on Seth Binzer when we get back. You're watching live on the BS3 Network. You're listening live on Real Wise Radio, the morning shift for Cole Johnson. We'll be right back right after this. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Whether it's the men's college game,
the way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
The women's college game,
and how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
The WNBA,
AJ Williams stood 1-2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmakers blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. This is a BS3 Network presentation. Adrian Shawan.
There was a man talking about where the homebodies at? Where the women at? And the women was stitching it and was like, we at home.
Scotty Knox.
Another pet peeve of mine, right? First date, if you show up with the ponytail that come out at the top of your head, it will not be a second date.
Butler.
I want people to think independently and freely. She's not. $100 for lunch. I almost got up and walked off.
A show that asks only one question. Is it Wednesday yet? Live every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central.
See everybody talking like they doing what we doing, but these brothers is rare and they ain't moving like we moving, and everywhere we go.
Now, if you want to watch somebody who can conduct an interview like it's a conversation, that's my man Wise El Jefe. Join him and a prized guest as they talk about life and break down something that you can get anything from. So watch Wise do his thing and pull inspiration out of a guest that sits across from him. In Stuck in My Mind podcast, you can catch that live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on Roku TV via BS3 and the Stuck in My Mind podcast YouTube channel. That is Stuck in My Mind podcast. That is live. You can catch these interviews every Monday, every Tuesday, and even today and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central on Roku TV. You can just hit that BS3 logo on the Roku TV app, BS3TVLive.com, and the Stuck in My Mind podcast YouTube channel. That's Stuck in My Mind podcast, live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. Welcome back to BS3 Presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. We are live on the BS3 Network. We are live on BS3 Morning Shift, Cole Johnson's YouTube channel, and we are live on the Real Wise Radio Network. I am Cole Johnson, if you couldn't tell. And Shifter, it is a pleasure to grace your presence, and I hope you feel the same with me. Back to Shift Nation week ahead, and Cool says the Anoa'i family lost another member last week, I believe. Yeah, I forgot who it was. I think it was, I can't remember, it was an uncle. But yeah, I believe, yeah, they've been going through a lot of a loss. Cool. 4 laugh crying emojis. He says, look, I didn't, but great minds think a lot alike. Yeah, I agree. And I think he was alluding to the last segment. Look, there's times that I enjoy doing this in terms of content. I enjoy this in terms of mission. So beyond the content, I'm purposed in what I'm doing. So the mission extends far beyond the content, but just from a news standpoint and a content standpoint, there's times I love doing this and there's times I don't. And this is one of those times I don't. When you talk about somebody who has passed away long before their time, it is really, really tough because you sometimes go through the what ifs, the possibilities, the whys, and all of that just goes through your mind. And in today's cover story, we will touch on that with Seth Binzer. Now, some of you may know him as the lead singer or the lead rapper. I think it's more appropriately titled, in the band Crazy Town. Now, some of you might say, Crazy Town, what the heck is that? Seth Binzer, who the heck is that? Well, he also went by the name Shifty Shell Shock. Now, you still might say, well, what the heck is that? Well, he penned and let a rhyme on a song called You're My Baby, Come My Lady, Come My Lady, You're My Butterfly, Sugar Baby. Him. Yes, the song that started with the guitar hook. And then a breakbeat came after that. Yes. The rapper of that song unfortunately passed away yesterday at the age of 49. The lead singer of the rap rock band Crazy Town. Now, he was known as Shifty Shell Shock. That was his pseudonym. But he was born Seth Binzer, and he died in L.A. Actually, he died Monday, I should say. He died in the LA residence on Monday, according to the Los Angeles Medical Examiner. And their records was saying that, well, they're still trying to find the cause of death as we speak, because right now it is unknown. Now, I mentioned the name, or should I say the band Crazy Town. Well, they were known for their 1999 single Butterfly, but it didn't reach #1 on the pop charts or the US Billboard Hot 100 charts until 2001. So, yes, millennials and Gen Xers that were young enough to still listen to top 40 radio, well, there you go. That's when you heard them. That's where you heard them. That's how you heard them. Their debut album, 1999's The Gift of Game, sold 1.6 million units. But the band broke up shortly after that hit went #1 in 2003, after declining success in subsequent musical projects. Now, the band, which included more than a dozen current and former members, included the following members: the co-founder, Brett Mazer, or Epic, DJ Rick One, Mark White, Adam Braven, or DJ Adam 12, on the ones and twos. Charles Lopez, or Russ Epic, or Epic, and the late Adam Goldstein, aka DJ AM. Now, USA Today reached out to the LA Medical Examiner's Office and Crazy Town's label. Pretty much did not get much of a response, but it's understandable. All of them were probably grieving at this moment in time. Binzer and Mazur, they were the ones who reformed Crazy Town back in 2007, and they released an album in 2015. But Mazer left the band in 2017, and Binzer changed the band's name to Crazy Town X. So you're saying that they went through a Nation of Islam transformation? Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. News, Cole, news. Binzer appeared on the VH1 reality TV show Celebrity Rehab. I think that's where probably many of the millennials may have really gotten a chance to know him. He was in season 1 of that show for cocaine addiction back in 2008. He returned in season 2 after the producer and star of the TV show, Dr. Trupinsky, yes, the very same that was with him and Adam Carolla earlier in the decade, learned of his relapse. Now, the singer the rapper also appeared on the short-lived spinoff Celebrity Rehab Presents Sober House. And season 1 was in 2009. Season 2 was in 2010. He was in both of those seasons. Now, tributes have come long and fast on the Instagram page that Shifty Shell Shock has. It has not been active since, from him, it hasn't been active since April. But some of those have been the following. Quote, RP Shifty, hope you're at peace, brother, close quote. Quote, my condolences to family and friends. We will always carry you in our hearts. Fly, angel, fly, close quote. Quote, RIP, bro, close quote. Quote, yes, we miss you, Seth, close quote. Quote, rest in peace, close quote. Quote, man, bro, we talked a few times, even though we never met in person. You opened that door to me on here with street love and respect on here. Instagram. I truly appreciate you and the time. Blessings to your soul. Sad to see you no longer here, but we'll keep your spirit with us as we still enjoy your classics at the real Crazy Town. RIP. White heart emoji, praying hands emoji, close quote. Quote, miss you already, close quote. Well, I remember when I used to do a bit where I work now, and I was in a different department, and there was a game that I did. It was a musical trivia game, and I put trivia in quotes. It was called Finish the Lyric, and I remember starting one of those times where the trivia game began, And I normally did it with a demo song, so to speak, well, for newcomers who did not know how the game went. So it would go this way, and I would demonstrate doing a song. Well, I was doing one. I think it was along 2001's number ones. I think it was something like that. And the song that I demonstrated how the game goes was Crazy Town's Butterfly. Well, my friend, I hope you're flying high now, man. And I'm sorry that you didn't find the true peace that you were seeking, but you'll be finding peace now. And all we can say is thank you for the memories. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your talent. And most importantly, thank you for giving us just a little bit of yourself and leaving that with the rest of us. And that is today's cover story. Now, if you want to see a program that probably would talk about music and blend that with life, I have three people for you. You can join Adrian Shawan, my man Scotty Knox, my man Eric Butler, as the three of them talk music, beats, and life. Wow, it almost sounds like I'm making them out to be a Tribe Called Quest. My bad, guys. Is it Wednesday yet? You can catch them live every Wednesday night and tonight as well, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central on Roku TV via BS3, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, and the BS3 Network Facebook page. It is It Wednesday Yet? Coming at you live tonight and every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central on Roku TV. You can just hit that BS3 logo on the Roku TV app, BS3TVLive.com, the BS3 Network YouTube channel, and the BS3 Network Facebook page. That is It Wednesday Yet? And you can catch them live every Wednesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Central. And blessings to all three of you, Adrian, Scotty, and Eric. And coming up next, mind transformation. That is what's going to be on tap and lighting the way. This is the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. You're watching it live on the BS3 Network, live on the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel, and you're listening to it live on the Real Wise Radio Network. We'll be right back right after this.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Kentucky, home of great natural scenery and Churchill Downs. The Bluegrass State has offered 3 jewels. The University of Kentucky.
And the Kentucky coronation is complete.
Terry Brown.
Some people from Louisville, from Kentucky, I don't like the Derby. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to keep it moving.
And Vinny Hardy.
Us growing up on the border, we all went to school with Tennessee fans. We all had some teachers that was Tennessee fans.
BS3 Network proudly presents 2 men with Kentucky on their minds and all the sports matters at hand. Cats Talk Wednesday. Live every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. Are you looking for something to do on your lunch break? Well, there's a show on the BS3 network that has only 4 words to say to you.
We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. We ready.
The Lunch Break, powered by JM&E. Live weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central.
Once again, join my man AJ as it is Winning Wednesday today on the lunch break, powered by JM&E. That is live every weekday, and today is Winning Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, on Roku TV via BS3 and the Jones Media and ENT YouTube channel. That is the lunch break, powered by JM&E, live today and every weekday. And it's Winning Wednesday today at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, on Roku TV. You can just hit that BS3 logo on the Roku TV app, BS3TVLive.com, and the Jones Media and ENT. That's ENT YouTube channel. And many blessings to my man AJ. I hope everything is well with you, my friend, down in Houston. I know things have been rough weather-wise. I hope you all have stopped digging out of stuff and now you can actually dry out. But I know that has been difficult the last few weeks. Right back at you. The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Cole Johnson here. Live on the BS3 Network. Live on BS3 Morning Shift, Cole Johnson's YouTube channel. And live on Real Wise Radio. And Shift Nation, back to where we go. And Shift, I'm so glad that you're here with me. One of my most prized shifters, Ryan McCarthy, comes at you with the nuggets, and I love it. He says, Butterfly was such a bad but good song. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's just one of those guilty pleasures, one of those things that just is like, you can't really describe it. It has a lot of quality to it, but it's one where, yeah, if you get anything in it, you just start to go along with it. The guitar hook was sampled from Pretty Little Ditty by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Thank you for that. Oh, and yes, the band was credited on the track. Well, I hope so, because I get the feeling that if they didn't, it would have been like MC Hammer having to cough up a whole lot of dough to Rick James when he sampled Super Freak on You Can't Touch This 9 years later. But yes, smart of them to do that. And it looks like that Red Hot Chili Peppers got a little bit of cash with the sample being bit. Nice work. Now it is time for us to really dig deep, because I know this is a message that I think some of you have heard. But, sometimes we listen to messages and we have to hear them again. And I think this is one of those times where it's a message that we have to hear again. Because for a time such as this, the message always is right now to hear it. Welcome to Lighting the Way. When I was young, and probably when many of you were young too, there was this commercial that the United Negro College Fund would always put forth, and it ran for as long as I can remember, up until I was probably 18, 19. And until I think I was in my mid-20s, they would always, at some point in the year, and I forget when, I'm thinking like in the winter, I believe. And y'all can call me on this, the fall or the winter, but I can't remember when. But at least once a year, They would even hold a telethon, much like the Jerry Lewis telethon we would see every Labor Day weekend. I know, dating myself. Got it. Anyway, the end of that commercial, the narrator would say, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste," and I didn't think too much of that line. I threw it away. It's just like, it's a throwaway line. Okay, it's cute. It's sort of like the commercial that I saw when I was a teenager, when you had a person who had a skillet and they put an egg and they cracked the egg. And before they crack the egg, the skillet's like, "This is your brain." They crack the egg and they put it in the skillet, and the egg just fries on impact and says, "This is your brain on drugs." I just dismissed that. It's like, okay, cute catchphrase. I'm not going to do any drugs, so forget it. I just threw it away. I was like, okay, good catchy line from somebody from Madison Avenue. That's pretty much how I looked at "A mind's a terrible thing to waste." And then I cracked open the Bible and I realized, whoa, wow, so this is a biblical principle. Oh my gosh. So you mean to tell me I was dismissing something that was biblically sound? Because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And the Lord actually says it is. He didn't say it in those words, but he definitely meant it with how important the mind is, how important it is to refresh it, to renew it, to bring new perspectives, fresh perspectives. And sometimes perspectives you learned from time before, but you just discarded them. And you need to refresh yourself and understand anew why you understood this to be a good thing in the first place. And that's what we take our time. I should say, that's what we take to Paul. So he went to Rome and he got imprisoned, of course, while in Rome. And so in a Roman jail, he decided to write about the mentality of the Romans. Not to tell on them, not to not belittle them, not to berate them, but to, like the Lord does with us, sort of like hold a mirror to us and say, this is how you're looking right now. It was along those lines. And so when the scripture that he wrote in the 12th chapter, 2nd verse, and it's something that I know many of you have seen, many of you have heard, and then you've probably heard many pastors preach on this. It is when Paul wrote to the Romans in chapter 12, verse 2 of Romans, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is the good and acceptable and perfect." Again, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what the will of God is, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Now, I remember hearing it this way and almost committing it to memory. Do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewal of your mind, or renewing of your mind, that by the testing of it, you may discern what is the will of God, his good, his pleasing, and acceptable will. So how do we conform, you may ask? That's a good question. How do we conform to the world's pattern? Here's how we do it. When we stray away from what the word says, when we stray away with what the word does, when we stray away with how the word has worked in your life and how you've seen the word work in other people's lives, and you gravitate towards something that you're familiar with. Here's an example. You see someone who operates in a way where it is off-putting, where it is injurious, where they are morally corrupt, yet they are successful. They are monetarily rich. Two prime examples right on top of the list. Like an R. Kelly, like a T, where you don't care how they do their thing. You look at the fact that they get to live these lavish lives. And you're like, I want to be like them and I want to do the things they did. They did some nefarious things. That is how you conform to the world. Now, why is a renewed mind so important? It's important because you got to understand, just because someone may look like they're living the good life does not mean you want to attain what they have. Remember, in the song that one of Diddy's artists, the biggest one to me that he ever had, Notorious B.I.G., he didn't even say it in the rhyme. He just said it offhand in the conversation where it says, the more money you have, the more problems you get. How prophetic. And the reason being, the people accruing the money, accruing the problems because the love of money was the root of their evil. Mind you, I did not say money is the root of all, because I'd be blaspheming if I said that. No, the love of money is the root of all sorts of evil. Meaning, if you were to pray to money like you pray to God, that is why you will have more money equaling to more problems. So that's why a renewed mind is important. So you can understand, yeah, I want to be wealthy. Yes, I want to be prosperous. Yes, I want to bless other people with the windfall of the system of riches that come here. But I don't want to abuse it. No, I wanted to enrich. Well, I wanted to enrich my life, yes. I'd be lying to you otherwise. But I want to enrich others' lives too. Because it is a resource to bless other people. It's a source to me, yes, but it's a resource that, yes, the riches that I have is to bless other people with. That's the part of the renewed mind that's important. Because in the two examples I just gave you, yeah, they may have contributed to charities, but they would brag about how much money they earned, how much money they spend, and what they could buy. And more importantly, who they could buy with the wealth that they attained and amassed. Now, how in the world, how on earth can we miss understanding the will of God? That's easy. One of the two that I just mentioned did a song called Trade in My Life, where he, in the song, he actually said, for what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? And that man gained the whole world and lost his soul in the process. So here he was. He heard, because unfortunately, and this is not a shot to him, he couldn't read. He heard the word of God, and it was told to him what it was understanding of gaining the world and losing his soul. But he didn't quite dig deep within the true meaning of that. See, when you gain the world, you gain the favor, you gain the prestige, money, power, respect, the song by the Lots. You gain all of that. All of that is great. But you know what it does as well? It feeds the ego. And when you get things that feed the ego, you got to do something to squelch it. And if you don't do anything to squelch it, the ego takes over you. So how do we and how can we miss the understanding the will of God? Well, when you replace God with anything else, there you go. You can replace God with money. You can replace God with self. You can replace God with both. And that is how you can miss understanding the will of God. Because if you don't say it's God first and everything else comes afterwards, down the spiral of life you will head eventually. It may not be right away, but it will happen. I'm praying for it. I'm saying that is exactly what has happened to many people. Now, how often should we transform and renew our minds? Every single waking day. There's a scripture that 2 words, pray endlessly. And that's how you can transform and renew your mind. Have a conversation with God. Stevie Wonder wrote a song says, if you feel your life's too hard, just go have a talk with God. That is a form of transforming and renewing your mind because you're saying to yourself, well, Lord, I don't understand this, but you do because you created all of this. So help me make sense of all of it. That's the beginning of the renewing of the process. And if you do that, you will be on the right track to prosperity and not just money, but in your thought life. Well, thank you so much for joining me. That's all the time I have. And if you want to be part of Shift Nation, all you have to do is join us on the Be a Stream Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel, where Be a Stream presents the Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. It is live every weekday, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. And you can watch it also on Roku TV via BS3 and the BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson YouTube channel, and the partners on the YouTube channels that carry this show. But if you want to be part of Shift Nation, go to BS3 Morning Shift Cole Johnson's YouTube channel and be among the throng and the shifters that come and share with us the beauty that is being a shifter. That's all the time I have. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting that notification bell. And thank you for spreading the word. This program is growing, which means the shift is beginning, and it's all due to you, shifter. That is the case. Thank you. Thank you for the shift beginning. And the more you spread this word, the bigger the shift can happen. For everybody in the BS3 network, Canon, everybody in Real Wise Radio land, and everybody on the morning shift, I'm Cole Johnson, here to say in parting, as I always do. If you lack consistency, you will never start. If you lack commitment, you'll never start. If you lack consistency, you'll never finish. And if you lack love, you most certainly will never, ever conquer. Until we meet again in 23 Hours, shifter, be blessed and understand you are a blessing. I love you. God bless you. Have a great rest of your morning. Have a great rest of your day. My day has been made because you exist in the world. So long.